and say, I'm so glad we're connected again. Now, I had never thought about that. I never heard that little twist in the story of the prodigal son. He had gone away, and while he was still some distance off, what was that father doing? Makes me empathize a little bit more for the child who was dutifully left behind. And is still doing his work, still loving his dad, and still real connected. That this father would spend, even while that child was away, so much emotional energy, worry, time, calling for and hoping for that son to return. And he did anyway. You know, I think our churches are at their best when that's what we're doing, hey? Not just celebrating the gathering of the group that's here now, but when we're urging, hoping, and praying, and waiting, not just until they come to the door, while we still have a chance, there's some distance off, for us to go and throw our arms around them and meet them and welcome them. We might even be good at that. We're far less good at throwing the party these days. Killing the fatted calf, the prized possession, giving up the treasured coin that we spent all night long looking for so that we can celebrate the one that was lost, but now is found. My prayer for Leesville Church is that we can do just that. That you and I can find an opportunity to throw our arms around that which is lost, to treasure it, to celebrate. Now there's one more thing about that. I want to take us back to when the prodigal son was lost in that country, some other country far off. And he took that job. You know, it was the only job I suppose he could find, but he took the job working with the pigs. You remember that story? That part of the story? They said my little Bible just cleans it up so nicely. They called it pods. The pods that he would throw to the pigs. You know what pigs eat. Go around eating pods. Give me a pod. That just doesn't happen. Just don't do that. They eat slop. It's what they eat. I don't know if any pig farmers in here? Any pig lovers in here? You're not going to like the rest of this story if you are a fan of pigs. Because what that meant for him was, especially as those Hebrew ears heard it coming from Jesus' lips, is that this guy is at rock bottom. There is no lower place to go. Because the pig was not just an unclean animal, unkosher animal. I mean, it represented all that was wrong with society. It's dirty. It's filthy. It's greedy. It grunts. It cares about nothing but itself, and it's so low to the ground that it just burrows in the mud, the mire. Not only that, no offense to any pig lovers here, it stinks. They smell to high heaven. And Lottie, this is where I was raised in Lottie, we had a pig farmer just behind our house. You can hear those pigs, but that was the best of it when you heard them. When you smelled it, man. And around this time of year, when the wind shifted from the north, it would start happening. And it's bad. You don't want to be around these pigs. And this guy would gladly have eaten the slop. He was so hungry. He was at his lowest. There was a friend of mine, a professor he was a great guy though. He was a professor at LSU in agriculture. His name was Jeff Gillespie. He's from Alabama though. And not like anybody from Louisiana should be making fun of anybody else's dialect, but he still held on to that. He was so down to earth, PhD and published papers all the time, and just so approachable. And hey, Roger, he'd say, and he was my friend. We get in the car, and I was taking him around Point Coupee Parish, where I was raised. One day, we were actually returning a pot to my brother that I had bought, a crawfish pot, and we had to follow Bayou Grove State. And along Bayou Grove State, people there along the banks, several different people, families raised pigs. And he was commenting as an ag professor how interesting that was, that they'd be raising pigs along the bayous there. And then he made this comment. He said, but you know, Roger, you never want to fall asleep with a pig. I suppose that was the result of some government grant, and he wrote a paper. He knew, though. Who am I to question Dr. Gillespie on that? But I did. And I said, what do you mean, Jeff, you don't want to fall asleep? Well, you said you don't want to fall asleep with a pig because a pig will eat you. I said, a pig will eat me? He said, yes, a pig will eat anything you put before it. A pig just wants to eat. That's why a pig will eat slop. Because it doesn't matter what goes into the slop. The pig will eat it. And if you go and fall asleep with a pig, it will eat you, he said. And of course, I was wondering, well, Jeff, that's interesting and all, but what occasion might you have to fall asleep with a pig? And he said to me, and he said, well, let's just say you've had an especially tiring day. And you forgot to feed the pig. So you remember, but you were so tired, you just grabbed the bucket of slop and you went out after your long, hard day. And let's just say your wife wasn't treating you so well anyway, so you weren't in such a hurry to run back to the house to begin with. And so you slop the pigs and you're so tired you're going to sit down by the pigsty. And you're just going to sit there. You don't want to go back home anyway because she's not being nice. She's yelling at you. And it's all about the pig stink. And so you just kind of sit there a little too long and you fall asleep. You don't want to do that with a pig. I said, well, I'll keep that in mind, Jeff. And I did just what you did. I laughed. I couldn't wait to tell my brother, my mama. I couldn't wait to tell people that Dr. Gillespie said the pig will eat you. And to this day, do we not always say that? You don't fall asleep with a pig, it'll eat you. Around the house. It's one of our sayings around the house. But I started thinking about that with the prodigal son. I started thinking about all that pig, what the pig represented in that story. You know, if you'd gotten a job shucking corn or something like that, he didn't. It was a pig. Jesus chose a pig to have this guy go and work for and work with. And you know, it occurs to me that Jeff is on to something. My doctor friend from LSU is on to something. If you sleep with a pig, it'll eat you. And if a pig represented all of that poverty of his soul, and if a pig represented his brokenness and his sinfulness, if pigs represent that for you and me, you don't want to sleep with that stuff because it'll eat you. Think about it. Think about your brokenness. Think about our sinfulness. Think about our limitations and all that we hold on to with all of that guilt because we've made a mistake. Or think about all the anger that we... Would you please sit down? Thank you very much. Just give me to you. Thank you very much, baby. You hold on to all of that stuff of your past or other people's stuff, how they've hurt you, and you hold on to it like a pig. Hold it, that just grabs you. You know what it'll do? You don't want to fall asleep with that stuff. You don't. It will consume you. It will make you become as the pig is. You understand what I'm saying? If you had a pod, a bucket, in which you could pour all the slop of your life out into, and toss it away, and run home to a father who's been waiting, wouldn't you do that? That's the invitation for us tonight. I know. I saw you all, most of you all here, last year, last night. I know you're not that young son who was went off and wasted, but someone in your life is. Someone is holding on to a whole lot of pig food. Someone's sleeping with the pigs of guilt, anger, and bitterness. Someone hasn't accepted the forgiveness that God is offering them. And you have a message to share with them. Don't sleep with those pigs. Let it go. Run home to the Father, lest you be consumed. Go to the one who instead waits for you, so that a great party can be thrown in your honor. Tonight, I'm inviting you to come unto the altar and lay your burdens there. Lay your sinfulness, the poverty of your soul, the brokenness. Maybe perhaps it's something that you feel guilty for. Something that is a long-held sinfulness of your life. Perhaps it's an anger that you have against someone else. Someone that you haven't forgiven because they've hurt you. And I'm going to ask you to come and put that pig here at the altar. Leave it there. Our Father waits